I'm not going to let parents come into schools and actually take books out and make their own decision.
You vetoed it.
So, yeah, I stopped the bill that I don't think parents should be telling schools what they should teach.
Virginia gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe, the punk, on the campaign trail, saying that parents have no role in their child's education other than to sit down, shut up, and pay for socialists to indoctrinate their kids. Here to weigh in is a Virginia school parent, Debra Tisler. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. And the man representing her, vice president for litigation at Goldwater Institute, Timothy Sandefur. Welcome to you both. Debra, you and a fellow concerned mother are facing a lawsuit from GovEd in Virginia's Fairfax School District. It's all because you requested information that you had every right to have under the Freedom of Information Act. Pick up the story from there.
Exactly. So we were interested in some information based on our concerns about the decrease in spending for students in special education and general education. Parents like myself noticed that the return of what our students should have been receiving just wasn't there with a $3.6 billion budget. And there was an increase in overreach of attorneys and law firms in the handling of matters for our children, which we believe were obstructing our rights as parents as well. And so I simply put in a FOIA request to see how much of our tax-paying dollars were going towards, these obstructionist type actions by law firms.
Yeah, and frankly, they're a government entity. They have no right to keep this stuff from you. Timothy, Debra legally obtained these documents from a FOIA request. Now the school district is suing, right? This sounds like thug, oppressive government tactics to me, trying to use the power of government to shut up, to intimidate a woman. Did they have a legal leg to stand on here?
Oh, none whatsoever. And you're absolutely right that we are seeing a trend of an increasing aggressiveness on the part of government school boards going after parents who either challenge how the school boards are operating or in this case just ask questions about how they're operating. Debra got this information as she's legally allowed to do, and her friend Callie published that information on her website, and the school district sued them or asked the court to order them to take this information down from the website in violation of their First Amendment rights. Unfortunately, the court agreed, so we have a hearing on Friday asking the court to eliminate that order and allow them to exercise their freedom of speech.
Yeah, exactly. It's public information, for crying out loud. Debra, the Virginia governor's race is only a couple of weeks away. According to Terry McAuliffe there, parents should have no say in their children's education. First off, how do you think this race is going to go between Mr. McAuliffe and his Republican challenger, Mr. Youngkin? And then Terry McAuliffe, do you think that he is the poster child to make parental school choice necessary?
No, Terry McAuliffe will not support having parental choice available in the Commonwealth of Virginia. What we're seeing now is a trickle down of the impacts of his previous time and term as governor here in Virginia. And he clearly does not believe parents have rights and don't have the right to engage with their schools, which are protected as well in both federal and Commonwealth regulations. He absolutely does not want us in there. He does not want us to uncover what is going on. And he supports these types of obstructionist, behaviors that we're seeing by the school boards towards parents.
Right. And before I bring the counselor back in, how do you think the governor's race is going to go, just if you had a gut feeling?
Well, based, what I'm hearing and seeing here in Northern Virginia and from friends around the Commonwealth, many people, including independents, Democrats, are going to vote for Youngkin. I feel he's going to win this race for sure. Yeah,
Timothy, and I guess to my broader point here, I think guys like Terry McAuliffe, who look at a government entity, the government entity is a bully, you got to do what they tell you. He is making the case for school choice for parents everywhere because parents don't want to turn over their kids to these unaccountable GovEd school districts. And it's a tricky climate when you've got a sitting attorney general who uses the FBI to put out a hit on parents who disagree with GovEd's teaching of hate and the China virus mandates. Weigh on both those, will you, please?
I think we are seeing, as I said, an increasing aggressiveness, not just in Virginia, but nationwide. of school boards and teacher unions who have this attitude that the government-run school system is their turf, and how dare you, the mere taxpayer, trespass on it. And what we're seeing in Rhode Island, for example, where my colleagues here at the Institute are representing another parent who asked for information from the school district in her hometown, and the teacher union sued her over that. What we're seeing is school employees and mostly the teachers unions and school boards acting as if they own the schools and you should shut up and simply fund them. And you're absolutely right about the school choice. I mean, that's why transparency is so important, why getting this information about how schools operate out there is so crucial, so that parents can know what's going on and demand the educational opportunities that their children deserve instead of just having to obey whatever the government decides to do.
Parental school choice, it solves a lot of these problems, folks, with overarching and over aggressive government. Debra Tisler and Timothy Sandefur, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate the time.